I stared at those words until they blurred, like someone had reached inside my chest and twisted. Emily was supposed to be at Sarah's bachelorette party downtown. Shots, stupid veils, the usual chaos. She'd kissed me goodbye 8 hours earlier, laughing about how she'd probably text me drunk selfies wearing a plastic crown. That was my wife. My safe place. The woman I still got stupidly excited to see walk through the door after work. And now this. I sat up in the dark, heart hammering so hard I could hear it. My thumb hovered over the screen. Part of me wanted to believe it was a joke, some drunk typo, a prank from one of her friends using her phone. But the next bubble popped up before I could talk myself into hope. I didn't mean for it to happen. We were just talking and then we were kissing and then more. I hate myself. I read it 4 times. 5. Each pass carved the words deeper. Jason. Her ex from college. The one she swore was ancient history. The one whose name still made her smile in this tiny secret way whenever it came up in old stories. I set the phone face down on the bed like it was radioactive and just breathed. In through the nose, out through the mouth, the way the therapist taught us after my dad died. Except nothing slowed the avalanche inside me. I don't know how long I sat there, 10 minutes, an hour, watching the ceiling fan spin. The house was silent except for the refrigerator humming downstairs like nothing in the world had just shattered. I kept waiting for the follow-up text, the haha got you, or the frantic, that wasn't meant for you. It never came. Just 3 little check marks turning blue. Read. Delivered. Ignored. Eventually I stood up. My legs felt borrowed. I walked to the kitchen and poured a glass of water I didn't drink. I opened the fridge, stared at the leftovers from the dinner we'd cooked together 2 nights ago. Her stupid garlic bread she always burned on one side, and closed it again. Then I did the coldest thing I've ever done in my life. I got the spare key from the junk drawer, slipped on shoes, and drove to the 24-hour hardware store. The guy behind the counter didn't even look up when I bought 2 new deadbolts and a pack of heavy-duty trash bags. On the way home I stopped at the ATM and took out $1,000 in cash because I knew she'd need it for a hotel or an Uber or whatever came next. I left the envelope on the console like I was planning a surprise birthday instead of an execution. Back home I changed the locks. The drill sounded deafening in the quiet house. Each screw a period at the end of a sentence I never wanted to write. I packed 2 suitcases, her favorite jeans, the sweater she lived in, the framed photo of us in Iceland she kept on her nightstand. I even folded her dumb fuzzy socks the way she liked, the ones with the little avocados on them. I left her makeup bag, her birth control, the necklace I gave her on our 5th anniversary. Everything she might need for the first few days of whatever her life was now. When the sun came up I was sitting on the porch steps drinking coffee that tasted like ash. At 9:42 the Uber pulled up. Emily stumbled out still wearing the glittery bride tribe sash, mascara streaked, hair a mess, looking every bit like the girl I fell in love with at 24. She saw me and her face lit up for half a second, pure reflex, then crumbled when she noticed the suitcases beside me. Baby! Her voice cracked. She took 1 step forward and the new lock clicked behind my shoulder like a gunshot. Why won't the door open? I didn't stand up. I just held out her phone so she could see the screen. The messages glowed between us like evidence in a trial. Her knees buckled. She sank onto the bottom step, staring at the texts like they belonged to a stranger. I was going to tell you, she whispered. I woke up in the hotel and I threw up and I was coming home to tell you everything, I swear. You already told me everything. My voice sounded flat, foreign. At 2:17 a.m., you told me everything. Tears rolled down her cheeks, cutting clean lines through last night's makeup. It didn't mean anything. I was blacked out. Jason kept buying rounds and God, I don't even remember half of it. I woke up in his room and I felt sick and wrong and I just wanted to come home to you. I laughed, this short ugly sound that didn't feel like it came from me. You accidentally fell onto your ex's dick, Em? That's the story. She flinched like I'd slapped her. Please let me in. We can fix this. I'll do therapy, I'll delete his number, I'll never drink again. You don't get it. I stood up slowly, legs numb. I'm not mad, Emily. I'm done. There's a difference. I picked up the suitcases and set them on the walkway. The envelope of cash went on top. She stared at it like it was poison. Where am I supposed to go? Her voice was so small. I don't know, I said. But you're not coming in this house. Not today. Not ever again. She reached for me, fingers grabbing air. I love you. You know I love you. This was the worst mistake of my life. I looked at her then, really looked. The girl who used to dance around our kitchen in my t-shirts, who cried during commercials, who promised me forever on a rainy Tuesday in October. She was still in there somewhere under the glitter and the shame, and that almost broke me all over again. I loved you too, I said. More than anything. That's why this has to be goodbye. I stepped back inside and closed the door. The new lock clicked with this terrifying finality. Through the peephole I watched her sink to the ground, hugging her knees, sobbing into the sleeves of the hoodie she'd stolen from me years ago. I stood there a long time, palm pressed to the wood, feeling every beat of my breaking heart echo through the empty house. Some betrayals don't come with screaming fights or slammed doors. Some just arrive in a 2 a.m. text message, quiet and absolute, and teach you that love can end in the space between two blue check marks. I never opened the door again.